According to the CEO of the voting software company SmartMatic, world leaders are expressing concern that Donald Trump's election conspiracy theories might spread from the United States and infect countries across the planet. They're worried that Donald Trump calling into question the software being used, the machines being used, the methods being used to count the votes and all of that, that somehow that is going to cross over our borders and enter into their countries, causing their constituents to not believe the results of their own elections. In all fairness, well, first and foremost, before I get to that, nothing Trump has said about the election is true. There was no widespread fraud. There's no abnormalities that we have seen so far with the voting machines. His people were allowed to go in there and observe, even though he says they weren't. They were. They actually caused major distractions in there. They were the ones messing things up. But nevertheless, it is important that we do look intensely at the way we vote here in the United States and, of course, across the world. You know, we need to have accountability in the voting systems. If we do not have that, we do not have safe elections, we do not have secure elections, and eventually we're going to have very inaccurate elections. We're not seeing that in the United States right now, but we do know we have very severe problems with voting machines here in the United States. The Diebold machines from the early 2000s, they were switching votes. The voting machines themselves, the software in them, is easily hackable. Our actual voting systems here our voting databases here in the United States, those are easily hackable by kids as young as 11 years old. They've been able to do it, hacking into exact replicas of our systems, changing people's registrations, changing whether or not they're even eligible to vote. We have major problems here in the United States, and I am sure these other countries do too. And much like in the United States, they probably don't want their people poking around trying to figure out what's going on. Now, I'm not saying there's widespread fraud across the globe. We have seen some elections in some countries where the dictator continues to win. Yeah, those are totally fraudulent. But not a whole heck of a lot we can do about that, short of intervening with another unwinnable war that's going to cost unnecessary lives. That's not a solution. But we need more accountability here. We need paper trails. We need paper ballots. We need receipts. We need to be able to verify that what we put as our vote was counted as such. I don't think that's a bad thing. However, we're not going to get there with these baseless conspiracy theories that Donald Trump keeps spreading. And yes, these world leaders are right to be afraid, because if their people do not accept the results of the elections, they may be a little more intense than we are here in the United States. You know, if you're talking about a developing country with a lot of turmoil, who knows what could happen? And it all gets linked back to Trump. He's not just a national embarrassment, he is an international embarrassment. And he's causing international problems. You know, he has less than a month in office now. Hooray. But the damage he has done is going to live on, not just here in the United States, but across the globe.